Hey guys, I'm back, and this time I'm going to deck profile my pure Nekroz deck. And I decided to give you guys a break from Super Quantums and a few other updates, and also I decided to give you a break from the old Super Quantum mat. This mat was given to me by Rescue Cat Duelist. She's an awesome YouTuber and awesome artist, and I thank her for this mat. I'm one of the few people that got it, so I'm quite happy to have it. And what better to have the profile with than on this mat? So we all know with the banning of Shrewitt and limiting of Bryonic and Unicorn, people were saying Nekroz was pretty much dead. I agree to some degree that it was pretty much kind of hindered a lot. I know some people are using the Clown Engine or the Brilliant Fusion, and then what else? Gishkis, and those are fine for quick summons, but those decks did not have what Nekroz had at full power, which was grindability. There was not much recursion, grindability, searching, or as much pluses as what old Nekroz used to be capable of. So I decided to build a pure Nekroz deck utilizing nearly every Nekroz card. Actually, I think I am using every Nekroz card except for Sophia. But yeah, the deck is centered around plussing, searching, and be able to maximize my ritual plays. So yeah, enough of that. Now I'm just going to go straight into the deck profile. So this deck is going to be very different than probably what you've seen so far in this upcoming format. And so far it's been pretty competitive. It's great against Draco Pals, it's great against Cosmos, it's very good against Monarch, surprisingly. So yeah, we're going to begin. So we're going to have two Trishulas in this deck. Trishula is very valuable in this deck and is very strong. I like to use it as a hand trap, but it's still my main offensive play. I could make Trishula, I could trish my opponent surprisingly about 3 times at max in a game. Yes, that's with 2 Trishulas. I'm able to trish them 3 times. You'll see why later. But yeah, 2 Trishulas is really easy to pull off in the deck, and it's very versatile. It's not a dead draw for me. 1 Unicorn. The 1 Unicorn really did hinder the deck a little bit, but I feel that the limiting of Unicorn, along with the limiting of Bryonic, actually made the deck slightly better in some ways. We're not too dependent on the whole Herald and the Unicorn, then discard Unicorn to fetch back the Bryonic, and having 2 or multiple Bryonics to do your search plays. Now we could go back, and now we're going to have some Wombo combo plays with Nekroz. And I feel the limiting of them gives Nekroz that access now, or at least allow Nekroz players to really think about that. So yeah, so we got those 3 Valkyries. Valkyries is still very good in the deck. It's used offensively now. It's not just defensively. It's able to draw us a lot in the deck, and his draw effect, since it counts as tribute as a card effect, really plays very well in the deck, and I'll show you guys why. So yeah, 3 Valk, and here's a little different than every other deck. 3 Gunniers. I really love Gunnier in the deck, and she's actually pretty easy to summon in the deck despite being level 7. A lot of people are worried about her in the deck, but she surprisingly is pretty easy to summon in the deck due to the cards I'm using. But she's mainly used as a defensive card, and she's probably one of the best defensive cards. I search her more often than I search Valkyries for my defensive plays, because she prevents any Nekroz card from being destroyed by card effect or battle that entire turn. Valkyries only stops attacks, which is sometimes fine if you have a blank field, but it has to affect the monster, and sometimes that's not that necessary. But just preventing your Nekroz from being destroyed, period, is very good. It forces your opponent to do other things to it. So yeah, now 3 Colossolus. I still use 3 Colossolus because Colossolus searches our ritual spells, and we play a lot of ritual spells in this deck. Now we're going to move on to a couple more changes that you guys are probably not used to. 2 Catastors and 2 Decisive Armor. Most people probably never play Catastor and probably 1 Decisive Armor. But Catastor is very good in the deck because he's a level 5. He's really easy to search. Level 5 is really good in the deck because it helps access Trishula, it helps access Valk a lot easier than just at level 4s or without Shirt in the deck to help fill out all of them. And also, Catastor has a great effect. He has a great discard effect. If you discard from your hand, you get to target any Nekroz monster, except for your ritual monster because they all know me, and special summon it. Catastor is amazing, and I do use the effect monsters in the deck, so that's why Catastor is so awesome in the deck. And Decisive Armor. Not a lot of people know this, but Decisive Armor is my favorite Nekroz card. He's very strong. He's pretty, look how awesome he looks. He looks like a heavy hitter. Just dangerous. He's very strong, and that extra 1,000 points of damage that he puts into the deck really helps push for game. It helps my Nekroz monsters get over other monsters. It's also the one card that helps us get over domain power attack monarchs and probably Cosmos to a certain degree, but Nekroz with Decisive Armor is also 3,300 by himself, so he's pretty big, and he constantly destroys set cards once per turn, and that's very awesome. It forces your opponent to do something to Decisive Armor. Oh, and I also forgot that Catastor has an effect that whenever any Nekroz monsters destroy when any Nekroz monster attacks or basically battles a monster summoned from the extra deck, it's automatically destroyed. That's any Nekroz monster, and that even counts Pendulum monsters, Pendulum summoned from the extra deck. That's a pretty powerful effect. Now we're going to move on to the effect monsters. 2 Dance Princess, 2 Great Sorcerer, and 2 Exas. Now, Princess really helps recursion the deck, especially since I do banish a lot now. So I will actually banish Bryonic with my ritual spell just so I could search one out of my deck, and then if I tribute Dance Princess at all by card effect, I get to add the Bryonic or the Unicorn back. Great Sorcerer, he has 2 awesome effects. The first effect is if he's tributed by card effect, I get to search a spellcaster Nekroz monsters. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 3 of her, 3 of him, 1 of him. That's 7 targets for 2 cards. I was considering playing 3, but I felt 3 was a little too much. 2 Great Sorcerers is good enough. And his other effect is if he's banished, I get to send a Nekroz monster from my deck straight to a graveyard. Sometimes I need that extra level in the graveyard for Nekroz Mirror, so sometimes I'll send Clausolus, or I'll send Exa, or I'll even send Dance Princess, or I might even send Catastor. Just that extra added level could help me make my ritual summon so much easier. And Exa, he's level 5, he has a pretty great effect where if he's tributed by a card effect, I get to search a dragon Nekroz monsters. I have 4 targets, and his other effect, if he's banished, I get to special summon a banished Nekroz monster. So I get to recycle Great Sorcerer and recycle Dance Princess just so I could tribute them again, either by ritual spell or even Valkyrus. Add back a banished or add any spellcaster, and then continue on my plays from there. And he's level 5, so 1 of him and 1 of him equals him. Him and him equals Valk. Him, her, and him equals Trishula. And it's really awesome. Clausolus, and along with Great Sorcerer and Dance Princess, will equal Gungnir. And so on and so forth. And a lot of them with Unicorn from Great Sorcerer or Dance Princess. Either I'll plus or I'll search. I'm constantly plussing with these guys in the deck. And with their multiple levels, it really helps combo the deck very well. So Nekroz has become a combo deck for me, and I like to play that way. And anybody that knows me knows I love combo decks, as long as they're also very aggressive. So yeah, I'm going to show you a couple of plays I really enjoy with the deck later. So yeah, so I'm going to put them away now to continue on with the rest of the deck profile. Sorry for going on a rant there. Now the last ones, 3 Manju, 3 Senju. They're the last monsters in the deck. I do not like the Manju and Senju too much, but they're needed for the extra searchability and the extra speed in the deck. But if you open with too many of these guys, then you're kind of dead in the deck. Like, you would think if you open with like three of them, any combination of the 3, you'll be in pretty good hands. But if you think about it, that means 2 of your cards are Nekroz monsters, and these are just searching. What happened? The levels don't add up. You gotta think about that. So yeah, that's a small thing. I'll go into a discussion video later on them, but they're just for the extras. Now we're gonna move on to our spells, and trust me, there's a lot of them in this deck. So we're gonna move on. 3 Nekroz Mirror, 3 Nekroz Cycles, and 2 Kaleidoscopes. I'm only using 2 Kaleidoscopes because I don't have that many targets, and I could probably add it back to my hand, but my main search target in the begin is Kaleidoscope, so I could use it with Unicorn and Herald. But I really enjoy Cycle and Mirror in the deck. That's why I play 3 of both, because I'm constantly messing with my graveyard or my hand. I'm tributing. Nekroz Mirror is really easier to use for my ritual summons, and Cycle is constantly to recycle Unicorn. It's almost like protect the castle with Unicorn in a sense that I constantly could summon it back with Cycle, or I could summon it back with use this to summon back Trishula multiple times due to all the levels that I have. Like either it's with Exa, Great Sorcerer, or Dance Princess, or even Unicorn, or even the Manju and Senjus. These guys really speed through the deck, and I ritual summon pretty often, even with this technically, but I don't use Kaleidoscope as much, only during my open plays. The rest of the time, Kaleidoscope isn't too useful, but yeah. But that's why I'm using 8 ritual spells. And I do ritual summons about, if the game's gonna last pretty long, I could ritual summon probably 4 to 5 times to maybe about 7 times. I think I've actually had a game where it was blinded against Cosmos. I was actually forced to ritual summon, I believe, 7 times. That's pretty insane. Now we're going to move on to the last couple of spells. And before I move on, this deck, yes, it's a 42 card deck. But with all the searchability and all the combo and the plus in the deck, I feel that above 40 was really needed so I could get my combo pieces a little bit better. And my logic behind that is because over 40 means that you'll have a slight more space, which means you'll have multiple chances and orientations in your hand. Now, if it was at 40, that means your space is going to be tighter, which means your combination patterns in your hand is going to be a little bit different. So I decided to add the number a little bit higher, so when my draw, my open hand will be slightly more diverse. So yeah, I'll go on about that another day. But the last couple of search cards I have is Preparation of Rites. I wish it was, above 1, but oh well. And Reinforcement of the Army. The only target is Claw Solus. Without Shuret, we don't have many targets, but yeah. Reinforcement of the Army. It's never really dead, because I'll use it, draw Claw Solus. I never actually went through all my Claw Solus without ever drawing my Reinforcement in the Army to be dead. And Preparation of Rites is never dead, because I've run so many monsters with, level 7 or lower. Ritual monsters, I mean. So yeah, I'm going to move on to the last 3 spells. 2 Dark Holes and 1 Regeki. I'm considering just dropping the Dark Holes and putting in like Twin Twister or Mystical Space Typhoon. More than likely Mystical Space Typhoon, because I don't like to discard unless it's from Tributing for a Ritual Summon or Tributing for a Valkyrie's effect. Regeki is only to destroy the field, but right now I really like these 3 destruction cards because I like blanking my opponent's field. Because the back row doesn't bother me too much in Nekroz, because I will constantly recycle and search, and even with a blank board, I'm able to come back with a very strong ritual monster. So that's why the front row is more, hazardous in this deck, in my opinion, that I have to get rid of. So yeah, now we're gonna move on to the Nekroz extra deck. Now, the synchro monsters in the extra deck are just for Kaleidoscope targets, and I picked them because they reflect my personal style. For level 12, we have Tech Genis Halberd Cannon. For our level 10 is Tech Genis Blade Blaster. I know most people use shooting Quasar, Dragon Master Knight, 5-Headed Dragon, blah blah blah. I don't know if anyone's ever used Halberd Cannon. I really enjoy Halberd Cannon a lot. So he's my level 12, and I do like Blade Blaster. I do send Halberd Cannon quite a couple of times because, it's not just Unicorn and Valkyries. It could be Trishula and Colossus, which I have done a couple of times. It could even be Gungnir and Catastor, which I've done a lot actually as well. Yeah. Now the level 6 Coil Guardian. I wish Bryonic was legal so I could just send Bryonic for Bryonic if I ever have to. Allied Justice Catastrophe for level 5. Herald of Arclight. We only need one because we could recycle Herald pretty easily in the deck. And I'll show you why later. And for our level 3, Mistburn Colossus. These are just all Kaleidoscope targets. Nothing to take seriously. Now we're going to move on to the rest of our extra deck. 101. Castel. So these are monster removal problems. Also, Abyss Dweller for those grave cards. And also, since I more than likely will be using Unicorn in the deck as an XC material for Abyss Dweller, it'll give all my water monsters, yes, Nekroz are water if you all remember that, an extra 500 attack. So I really like. Next, Gaga Cowboy. And another card in the deck that I enjoy due to Catastor is actually Bogasaurus. I've actually gotten off Bogasaurus a couple of times. First, I'll ritual summon Catastor, and then I will I'll ritual summon the Catastor by sending Catastor with Kaleidoscope, or I'll tribute the Catastor. I'll tribute Exa for Catastor, search another Catastor, then use the Catastor's effect, discard it to resummon the Exa. I'll overlay the two into Bogasaurus and destroy my opponent's monster. I've actually done that quite a few times, and it was actually pretty funny. And I didn't realize I could do it, so I decided to add Bogasaurus in the deck and see how often I could do it, and I've gotten it off pretty much a lot of time. Last card, Daigusto Emerald. Now, Daigusto Emerald is very good in this deck, especially with the level 4 recursion and the fact that I do go through my deck a lot. So adding them back into my deck is really awesome. And Daigusto Emerald is basically the pinnacle point in probably my favorite combo. And the last couple of cards, one Utopia Prime, and one Utopia the Lightning. My teammate gave me Prime. I wanted Ray, but Prime's awesome. So they only serve the purpose of boosting up Lightning. I'm probably never going to actually use the combo where my Lightning's lower than 1,000 and then I could lower the attack points. I probably don't do that. Now, we're going to just move on to just a quick combo I like to do in the deck. Now, it's going to require a couple of cards, but it's pretty easy to do pretty well in the deck. So I'll show you what it is. So first, we're going to take any Jew. We'll just take Senju to be easier. We'll take Kaleidoscope. We need Kaleidoscope. We need Psycho. Technically, this is good enough for the combo. But to be easier, we also need Colossus. And obviously, we also need Unicorn and Great Sorcerer. Now, if you're able to just open up with these two, it's pretty awesome. But you might not get it because you need the normal summon. So most of the time, I'll summon Senju. Let's pretend I don't have him in my hand, and we have just these two in my hand. So we're gonna these three in my hand. Sorry, I'm gonna search. I'm going to search him. Next, I'm going to discard for him. I'm going to send the Herald. I'm going to send the Herald of Arclight to the graveyard. And next, we're going to ritual summon him. And now at this point, we need to get Bryonic. But be very cautious because you're going to have to be careful with Bryonic due to his limiting, and you need to make sure Bryonic is as useful as he is. But we're going to search Bryonic. We're going to discard it. Now, if we didn't have Great Sorcerer, we would search Great Sorcerer because Bryonic could search the Nekroz effect monsters. But if we don't, but we already have it, we can either search Valkyris or Gungnir. For purposes, we're just going to leave it alone. Now we're going to search. We have 3 monsters in our graveyard, and we have these 2. We're going to overlay into Daigusto Emerald. We're going to detach the Unicorn, target these 3. We're going to shuffle them back. It doesn't necessarily matter what we have, what we draw, so we're just going to pretend we drew another Great Sorcerer. Now, we're gonna Psycho the Great Sorcerer to bring back the Unicorn. Search with the Great Sorcerer. One of those two we did not have. So either way, we're gonna have these two in our hand more than likely at the end of the combo. Or we'll even have more cards even if we open up with them. We don't have to. We could even search Trishula or Decisive Armor. But the combo could be done either way. Just make sure you have 3 monsters in the graveyard. You can shuffle back the Herald, leave the Unicorn in the grave. Emerald will no longer have an effect at the end of it, but you won't have any more targets. So yeah, you saw the Volcasaurus combo I did, so that's pretty good. And you saw this combo. It's one of my favorite opening combos. It's pretty easy to pull off. I could probably show you guys in a demo video or an explanation video how easy that open hand is, and since I draw that combination pretty often. So yeah. Sorry if I haven't been so coherent with this deck profile. I just really wanted to get it out for you guys, and I was really excited. So I hope you guys really enjoy it, and if you have any questions about Nekroz, please message me, comment, or if you have any tips, please let me know. But please try the deck out yourself if you really enjoy it. And most importantly, guys, just have a good time. See you guys.